German cockroaches have a number of traits that make them amazingly resilient creatures. The ability for them to hide in appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, coffee machines, etc., cracks, crevices, and get back into the deep recesses of wall void areas. They thrive on moisture, so around your sinks, plumbing, toilets, that kind of stuff. And then any food. So first line of defense with German cockroach control really is sanitation. And some other traits that make German cockroaches very resilient is that they are cannibals. They can feed on one another. They're necrophagous. They can feed on their own dead. And they are also coprophagous. They can feed on their fecal matter. So very resourceful in terms of what they're able to feed on to survive. Another issue that we sometimes deal with is resistance, and that's a cockroach's ability to withstand a certain level of toxicity to the chemicals that we're applying. We can only apply product at the label's maximum allowable dosage, and so sometimes a certain population can be resistant to that treatment and then pass that resistance on as they survive. Typically what we're trying to achieve in an initial German cockroach control situation is a 90+% kill ratio, so we can knock their numbers down enough to where when we come back for a follow-up treatment in the future, those numbers have not risen back to where they were when we initially started. This is Carl Wilson with Extermiman. The situation we have here is a German cockroach infestation, and so what we're going to do is go through and show you some of the techniques that we perform in order to control this difficult pest. German cockroaches like to typically infest kitchens and bathrooms. You can see some evidence up here, a dead cockroach, but sometimes in these joints in cupboards and cabinets they like to congregate in these areas. At this point I'm not seeing high numbers of them, so it's good to take a flashlight and go through here and inspect and see what we're dealing with. Typically around these plumbing voids, German cockroaches can get back in the wall voids. Also underneath this cabinetry, there's typically a void under the kickboard, a space down there 2 or 3 inches. Sometimes up in these corners that could be an issue. So anyway, we're going to go through here. We're going to do a crack and crevice treatment with insecticides that are labeled. Let's see, we got some activity up in here. We got roaches moving. We got movement. They don't like the light. So we got some pretty good activity going on there. So we'll shoot that for right now. And not too bad in other areas. So got a pocket of them up there. It's really good to find the harborage areas if at all possible. So we'll pause for now, and then we'll come back with some of the applications that we're doing. So one of the first things I like to do as I go through the home and treat for German cockroaches is to put down a barrier, particularly along baseboards throughout the house. They like that seam in that joint down there as well as many other insects, but kitchens and bathrooms are the highest probability issue areas. And so we're going to make sure to treat those well. But the rest of the home can become vulnerable. For example, this bedroom, we've got some issues going on along some of the baseboard areas here. It's difficult to see, but we've got German cockroach carcasses embedded down in that crack and crevice area. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down a perimeter barrier throughout the home, so as we do treat in the kitchen and bathroom, some of the chemicals have some flushing properties to them, it's going to push them around. There's already cockroach activity in the bedrooms, which indicates somewhat of a higher level infestation. So what we'll do is we'll take, this is our handheld compressed air sprayer here with a combination of chemicals that are designed for cockroach control in the areas that we will treat, and have a tendency to start in some of the perimeter outlying areas first, because once we start hitting the kitchens and bathrooms where the infestation level is high and heavy, it's going to push them and flush them into other areas. So by putting down this control barrier now throughout the structure, we help contain some of those problem areas once we start to flush them. Okay, we've just finished treating the secondary harborage sites, what I would consider secondary harborage sites, bedrooms and other rooms in the home besides the kitchen and bathroom. Kitchen and bathroom are primary harborage sites for German cockroaches. Those are the rooms that they typically prefer to hide in. It's because of the food and water resources there. But when infestation levels start to get high, they can spill over into other bedrooms, hallways, and so forth. And so what we've done is gone through and treated those to kill cockroaches that may be there, to flush them, and also to put down a containment application in those other areas as we begin to treat the primary harborage sites now, which are the kitchen and bathrooms. So we're going to go ahead and proceed to do that, and we may get some footage here of flushing some cockroaches. So now we are treating these crack and crevice areas. You can see up here in the corner, it looks like possibly some fecal matter right up in that corner there. Those speckled spots, it's German cockroach fecal matter. So we're just doing some crack and crevice treating through here, these joints. Getting some product right on there. See if we can flush anything and put a barrier down in case they come out, because we're also going to hit this with some aerosol and dust products. Try to get them as well. Okay, it's been 10 or 15 minutes since we started treating, and we can see here we got a German cockroach in the front room. He's come out of a harborage point, just crawling around. A little bit difficult to see on this dark surface. Maybe we can light it up here. There we go. And see, we got him crawling around on the wall here. He's been flushed out of an area. He's probably been exposed to enough chemical to die at some point, but not enough initially just to take them out. So a lot of times the chemicals will burn them to flush them, and then at some point, a few minutes, few hours, they'll end up dying. So that's first signs here of them being flushed out in other areas besides the kitchen or bathroom. And we can see we got more up here coming on the wall. He's moving funny, which means he's been exposed. He's trying to not fall off the wall. We got fecal matter you can see here in the... Oh, maybe I'm wrong on that. Starting to see them come out from the top of this cabinetry here. More movement in the kitchen now. Okay, the next phase we're gonna move to is a combination of dusting and spraying. This is going to be releasing some product that is going to go airborne. So we have a respirator here to protect the individual that's performing the application, and what this process is going to do is to penetrate into deeper areas such as wall voids, deeper cracks and crevices, and with some of the aerosol products get more heat, more chemical burning and heat generation properties to some of those chemicals. So you can still see they're continuing to come out, ceiling now. So we're getting more movement, and we're going to create more movement with the aerosols and the dusts. Yeah. Okay, so what we have here now is a power duster, electric power duster. We're going to start injecting wall voids and cracks and crevices with the dust product. You can still see seeing quite a bit more movement at this point, just from the residuals, the liquid sprays that we've put down. Flushing them out of areas. We're going to get more now as we move to do this. May not see a lot more numbers, then again we may see a few. We really don't know until we start the process. Okay, we can see a bit more fecal matter up here, these corners. Don't worry about these cracks and crevices, these countertops. Okay, now we're going to treat with an aerosol-based pyrethrin. This is going to allow us to get into the deep cracks and crevices, deeper than the liquid is able to go, and then also give us stronger flushing properties than we were able to get with the dust. The dust is good for a long-term residual product, but not so great at fast flushing and quick knockdown, which is what we want to do now. And it's typically the last part of the process that I do, because we're going to get the most movement, the most kill, the most knockdown. We've got everything else done. It's really the last part of the process. Okay, starting to see more movement just from the injecting the aerosol of the cracks and crevices. Get them to come out. Going to hit all these little seams and joints, and just every little nook and cranny that we can find. A key component to this process of treating for German cockroaches is that the place has been prepared properly as well. Meaning things have been removed from cabinets and cupboards where roaches like to harbor, and food items have either been put away into the refrigerator or sealed up into plastic containers or removed from the treatment site so they don't become contaminated with airborne product. So preparation is really key to getting a very good, thorough application.